Hello. So in this video we are going to talk about AWS migration, or we can say a migration project. So the general idea over here is how do we migrate any of the services or tools in our on-premise or local server to the cloud, or like if we have a setup already done in our on-premise servers, like there are a lot of companies that haven't moved to AWS or any other cloud platforms. So they got their servers, they have their system installed there. So if you want to move from the local or on-premise to the cloud, then how to do it? So the general purpose of this video is to give you a guidance on how the migration works. So migration itself is a very long topic. It's a very advanced topic. So for the basic purposes, to understand it, we need to go through the lab demonstration is made in such a way that it will be a lot easier for a student or a learner to catch the actual concept of migration. So talking about the cloud migration, there are different type or different ways to migrate. As written over here, we can do lift and shift, or it is also called rehosting. We can also do replatforming, refactoring, or rebuilding. So what are all of these? So rehosting or lift and shift is something that we are going to demonstrate in this demo. But the general concept over here is like you got an application installed in your server, and then you actually create the AWS cloud server that is a complete replica of what you currently have. Let's say you have a Python application, then you need to install different Python versions, different Python servers, different web application if it is a web one, and then you run your code in that particular server, right? So rehosting is like we create the same scenario or same environment in EC2 machine or in a cloud provider, and then we just move our code to that particular machine and we run it. So that's the simple concept. Replatforming. So replatforming is a little bit different. So we are not just gonna change the environment, but we are also gonna change the code of our project or code of our software, right? So that we can use different various cloud services. For example, if you are currently using some sort of a storage, maybe a hard disk, maybe something different hardware that you got. So if you're going to AWS, then it's better you use S3, right? But your code, it doesn't comply with the S3 right now. So you make the changes in the code so that it complies with other different AWS services. So cloud features gives you more advantages. So that's replatforming. You also got refactoring. So you're changing the architecture of your software, right? More of a cloud native approach. So for example, like if you are shifting to various services like SQS or different ways, then you can do that as well. For example, if you got a monolithic application and then you are going to cloud native, then you can go for microservices. Like you got a code, but you just divide it into different sections, and then you deploy those in the cloud. So that's a refactoring. Another one could be a rebuilding. That is a full cloud native solution. So you got your application. Now it could be a very old application, right? It could be a lot hard for you to actually migrate with lift and shift because the old technology doesn't work on cloud. So in that case, what you can do is you can completely rebuild your application in such a way that it is now good for a cloud. For example, like if you have a server backend, then you can go for a serverless technology, completely rewriting the code, completely restructuring the project, and then rebuilding it in a cloud native format. So yeah, these are some of the migration strategies, but currently we are going to just demonstrate the rehosting and lift and shift thing. Okay, so that's all for the background. So we got a runbook over here. So in this demonstration, we're gonna go with a Node.js application and a MongoDB database. So we got one software over here, and we will try to run it. We got that on a local setup, so we will try to send it in the EC2 machine as well. So how to do that? How do we actually set it up? So currently we got a dev environment, so I'm just gonna go through and go through a demonstration about the dev environment and how to set it up, how to automate some of the process. We're going to use different tools over here. So in order to make this not too much complex, so I will just go through all the code structure and explain what are happenings. Okay, so yeah, this is our code. We got that in our GitHub as well, so you can just go to this GitHub link, and you got a code. You can just copy and git clone this entire repository. So once you git clone those, you got like this. So the backup is something that we generate later. Anyway, so we got our backend server and we got our front-end code. Okay, backend code, front-end code, and we got something called Ansible playbook. So Ansible playbook, we will discuss it in a little bit, but let's just go through this. Okay, so we got some environment variables in the backend, and you can see it have a Mongo URI. So this is a link that helps us to connect to the MongoDB. So currently we have set up a MongoDB in our Mongo Atlas, and with this link we can connect to that, and this is also the port number for that, the port number for our server hosting, and yeah, so generally this is just a software, right? Front end and back end. I'm not gonna go dive into each of the file, but just going through what we are trying to migrate over here. So if you go to our MongoDB, so this is just a MongoDB Atlas server. So we can just search that, and then I have created a cluster over here, and the cluster name is to do test. And inside the cluster, I have created so go to the data explorer, and we can see like we got a database. So if you don't have a database, then you can just create from this UI. Okay, so we just need to connect to our database from here. So once the connection is established, you can see I have created multiple collections. So one of the collection is called test, and inside the test we got tags and to-dos. So so yeah, that's the general setup of our MongoDB. So this is not a MongoDB demonstration, so you guys can go through some of the other videos on how to create this kind of stuff. And generally I just created some of the dummy data over here, like for the tags I got taste, origin, shopping, and all those things, and for to-dos I got a lot of different to-do list over here. So this is just a database and database creation and database data, okay, for our demonstration purpose. Now if you go to our VS Code, the code that we just cloned, and so I got backend, front end, and other stuff. So let me just go to, so this is the backend location, right? So I'm on a to-do app, just cd to backend, and then I'm gonna run npm run dev. So this is the command to actually start the backend server for the development environment. And when this is start, you can see it connects to the MongoDB server. One thing that I need to mention is like how to connect. If you create a MongoDB server like this, then how do you connect it? So just go to database access, and then create a new database user. Let's say the password is just test for now, and then just gonna add a user. Okay, sorry, my bad. So one people, what is that? So you can just create one user over here and select a role and add a user. So once you created the user, you can go to cluster and then click on connect, and then you can click on drivers, and this will give you the code to actually connect. So the link is over here, and you can just put the username and password that you set earlier over here, right? So in my case, my username is this and the password is like this. Okay, so I just use the username over here on this one. So that's how you establish the connection with the MongoDB. Okay, so once the connection is done, so our backend server is up and running, so our MongoDB is connected from backend. And if I go to my frontend status, so I'm in a to-do app, go to frontend and then do npm run dev, and once that is done, so it will start our local server. And if you click on this, you can see my to-do list. So the app is up and running, and you can also see all of these data, right? So all of these came from our MongoDB server over here. So if you go to just give me, I need to connect it again. So if you want to add a tag, then we can just put test1 to 112, then add a tag. So tag created successfully, and it should be at the bottom probably. There are 2 months over here. So it should be somewhere over here. Now let me just go to our Explorer and see it. Test tags. So our name was test11. Okay. Let's see if I can scan all of this. Yeah, so test112 is over here, right? So I just created that from my application. So you can see the front-end application connects to the backend, and then it connects to database as well. So if you want to add a tasks to do, then you can also tasks to do over here. You can remove those things, so everything works completely fine, right? Just simple to do application over here, and it connects to database. So this is our application. Now let's try to migrate all of these things to our AWS. Just open the AWS cloud for now. I'm just gonna close this one, and yeah. So once we are in AWS, go to EC2 machine. I probably have one up and running over here. So let's I'll just terminate this one for now, and I'm gonna launch a new EC2 instance. The EC2 instance is Ubuntu for now, because in our runbook I have created a code that is relevant to Ubuntu servers. So yeah, we also got various codes over here, like you can do MongoDB backup. So for that you need to install the MongoDB database tools. Once you run this command in the terminal, you will have that, and after that you can open the terminal, and once you have opened the terminal like this, and then so it should create a backup folder like this. So I'm just gonna delete this one, and then I'm gonna run MongoDB. So this is the command to actually back up all the things from the MongoDB. So use mongodump, and then URI should be particularly the URI that we use over here, right? And then output is backup, that's backup. So let me just press enter and see what happens over there. So this gonna take a little bit time anyway. So we already got a backup file in our, yeah. So as you can see, it creates the backup. We got test and to-dos, so all the data are over here. So we cannot actually view it because it is encrypted, but you get the idea, right? If you want to back up and then restore to some other database or some other places, then you can do it like this. But in order to run the mongodump command, you need to install from this particular command line. Okay, so after that, yeah, we are our EC2 machines. So let's just create an EC2 machines. We're gonna create Ubuntu server. I'm gonna say migration project for now. Everything lives to default, keep here. So if you have one, you can do it. If you don't, then you don't really need to. I'm gonna just connect to the console itself. Make sure you have auto IP address assign enabled, and this is important. and SSH on. So this is also important one. Okay, and after that go to advanced details, and at the bottom of the line you can just copy this user data code. So what does this user data does? Let's just check this out. Okay, so we got sudo apt update command and sudo apt upgrade command. So generally it's gonna update and upgrade the system, and then it tries to install some common things that is needed for our Ansible code, and then it installs the Ansible itself. So just copy this and paste over here and launch. So you guys might not be familiar with the Ansible. I'm not sure about that, but I'll just show you a small demonstration like how Ansible actually works. So once the instance is up and running, just wait for it to start. So I've also included if you want to connect to the document DB. So as you can see, the MongoDB command that we got, right? So after we got our backup ready, like this backup folder, then you can import all of those using the mongo restore command, and at the endpoint you need to put document DB ID, and you also need to maintain some of the SSL and other security authentication stuff, and then you should be able to go and up and running the document DB. But this is gonna take a little bit more time, so I'm just gonna skip this process. For now, we're just gonna use the MongoDB, the one that we already got over in our server. Okay, so let's see if our server is up and running. So yeah, it's running. Let's connect it. I'm gonna connect. So this is one instance of the server. This might take a little bit time. So just give it a second and try to connect it after a few moments. Yeah, so it taking some time. Just wait for that. By that time, let's just go through our runbook again. So these are those like PM setup, like how to SSH into the HTML machine. You guys are familiar with this stuff. So try to run this command once, gpkg check, because we installed Ansible with the user script, right? So, and we also got our Ansible script, which is gonna install a lot of different stuff. Like firstly, it's gonna install the Nodejs package. So to install Nodejs package, we need to make sure the Ansible installation command is completed. So to know that, just run this command, copy this, push it over here, and press enter. So it can see, it shows like the front end lock is being done by some process. So that means the Ansible command process that we run as a user data, it is still being run in the background. So until that is completed, we cannot proceed with this. Okay, so just keep running this for a few seconds, and then it should stop showing the PID after some time. Just give it some time. Okay. So in the meantime, let's just go through our Ansible code. So I have also put that in our code over here. So if you go to the Ansible code and just check it out, what it's gonna do. So the first thing the Ansible does is it's gonna clone the repo. So the repo link is over here. It automatically clones the repo and store it in the directory called to-do app. That's completely fine. And after that, it's gonna check for the dpkg log that we just discussed, and once the dpkg log is completed, it's gonna update apt. And it's gonna install different tools like git, curl, and build essentials. So these are the installation command, and it uses apt to install those things. So we don't really need all of these things, but yeah, it's good to have this kind of stuff. Okay. And finally, it's gonna install the Node.js. So it's gonna call. So you see, we are installing the call if it is not in the system, and then using the call to install the Node.js, and it installed the Node.js like this. Once the repo is cloned, then it goes to the front end. So it goes to the front end directory. So, and then from that directory it runs npm install, and same goes for the backend. So we already got these node modules over here, but still it's gonna try to install the latest stuff if it is needed. So what it's trying to do is just get inside this folder and try to install npm install. Okay, try to do the npm install commands. That's all. And finally, after that, it runs the npm run dev command. So the same thing that we ran in our local demonstration, right? npm so yeah, we run npm dev command, and it starts the server for front end and for the backend as well. So the same thing. So now why Ansible? So now you see, if you have to install all of these things, let's say in 10 computers, and each of this process might take like 20 minutes, so you can define like for the 10 computers, for 10 servers, how long it can take. Or if you are going for like 100 servers or 1000 servers, so for a single person or maybe for an entire team, it might take a lot of time, maybe a month or maybe 2 months. But with Ansible, you can automate all of these things. You can automate the installation part, you can automate the configuration part, right? So this is why we use Ansible for, and this is a small demonstration. You can make it, this can connect to different lot of servers and run a lot of different things. So what I'm trying to say is like this is just a basic configuration. So you can have a lot of different things being done by Ansible itself. So yeah, this is our Ansible code, and we are using Ansible for automation, for automating the configuration of the server. So this is one way to do it. So let me just check this again. So as you can see, the process ID doesn't show, so it means the background process has completed. So now we can run this particular command over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this, and let's see if we got Ansible installed. And I'm gonna, so you can see we got Ansible command, so that means Ansible is installed in our system. So what I'm going to do is nano, I'm just gonna name it server config.yaml, and I'm gonna paste Ansible command over here. Sorry, paste it. Once the Ansible command is there, I'm gonna save this file, and the next command is to run the Ansible with this configuration. Sorry about this. I'm just gonna show the command over here. That's all. So yeah, the command is Ansible playbook and the file name. So we got our file name as server config.yaml. So I'm just gonna write Ansible playbook, and the file name is server config, right? So let's do an enter this. So as you can see, it starts different stuff. It checks if the dpkg lock is free. It goes for apt update, and it tries to install the prerequisites. So let's see, let's again go to our Ansible code and see what's happening. So the prerequisite steps is over here. It's trying to install git, crawl, and build essentials. So this might take a little bit time. And prerequisites are done, and now it's trying to install Node.js and npm. So you can see it's just running this call command on Node.js, right? So Ansible is like a form of a declarative approach, right? So you don't actually write a command, or you don't actually, for example, like there are some phases like where we actually write a command like shell command over here, but a lot of the Ansible playbook would be pretty much similar to like this. Okay, so what the declarative statement means is like we want the system to have git, call, and build essentials. Okay, so that was what this command means. So we are not we are not asking the server to we are not writing a command to install git or writing a command to install call, right? We are just asking the server, or asking the Ansible, like I need a server that have git, call, and build essential, and Ansible does the stuff for us, like it automatically install the git or install the call, so we don't actually need to remember the commands. For Node.js, it might be a little bit different, but for the most cases, even a Node.js could have something like this, but particularly in our script, I'm using simple call command for the Node.js purpose. Okay, so this is going to take a little bit time. Just wait for a while. Okay, so the npm is installed now. So there's a little bit issue, I think, over here. So what I did was I actually canceled this process, and then I installed the Node.js with this command called this, and then should I be install Node.js. Okay, so this is the same command that is inside the our Ansible playbook install Node.js function. So I'm not sure like why that got stopped in the middle of process. Maybe there are some issues with the compatibility or something like that. I'm not sure about that. But the thing is, like, you can just copy this command and run it in the terminal, and it will install the Node.js. And after that, you can again start running the you can again start running the Ansible playbook, and it will just run with that without any issue now. Okay, once that is done, now let's just do ls and see what happens. So with ls, I can see that is a to-do app now. Now how this came, because our Ansible code is responsible for git clone as well. So it will git clone, it will go to front end, and then it will install npm install stop, all other things, right? So let's just go inside the to-do app. So to-do app, ls, we got our backend and front end. So let's go to backend first. And you can see we got node modules as well. So and it also runs the server. So in order to see if the servers are run or not, so you can run this command. The command is sudo lsof -i and the port number. So we know that the port number is 5001 for our backend and 5173 for our front end, because if you go to our VS Code and if you see over here, the front end runs on 5173 and the back end runs on 5001. So now we can see that like the servers are on this port, and we can check it with this command, and we can see it is being run by a node. So that means our server is up and running. I don't have to do anything, right? So I just open the server, and then I just created the EC2 machine, and then I ran this Ansible playbook. The Ansible playbook has an issue with the Node.js, so I manually ran the Node.js one. But apart from that, all of the things is done by Ansible. So it installs on front end, it installs back end, it starts the front end, it starts the back end, all those things, right? So yeah, once that is being done, let's go and see if it is now deployed in the EC2 machine. If you go to our EC2, so one thing we need to consider is like our security groups. So if you go to security and go to security group role, make sure you add one custom IP, that is 5173, because this is our front end port, right? So we need to open that so that we can access from anywhere in the world. If we don't do that, we might not be able to access it. So once that is done, let's go to our EC2 instance again. We got our public IP address. Just copy this and open a new tab and put 5173 and press enter. So once that is done, you can see our app is up and running now. So yeah, and we can confirm that it is being connected to the database, because we can see the data over here. If you go to the test data, and if you see, like, let's say the fitness is over here, right? And then if we go to our app over here and source for fitness, so these are tags, so I'm gonna change it, right? So let's say that add tasks, and I'm gonna add, let's say, new tasks test migration demo 1 to 3. So this is completely new one, so I'm just gonna say home and create it. It says successfully created. If you go to our database, go to our to-dos, and it's gonna fetch. So I think you got 1 2 3 or something. We got 114 records. So yeah, you can see over here, this is the new tasks, test migration demo 1 2 3. So yeah, that's how you migrate from your local or on-premise to the cloud. You use different kind of tools. Ansible is one of them, but you can have different other automation tools that you can use, like Terraform or something else, or maybe even write your own script to migrate your actual code to a cloud server and then host it automatically. Like, you don't have to do so you just need to understand how the tools works, how the scripts works, and implement it in such a way, like the things for the developer or for the DevOps engineer, they don't have to work much. They just need to click some of the stuff. So if I need to deploy this in 100 different servers, I can do it instantly, right? Just connect 100 different servers to one of the Ansible, like the Ansible has something called master and slave kind of a concept, like master node and other worker nodes. And you can use the master node to connect to 100 of different worker nodes, and the master node will install everything in the 100 different worker nodes, just like I did over here. And that's how you migrate your application. So yeah, that's all for this video. Thank you.